He's been permanently impaired now, at least. I'll tell you what. You're not live yet, are you? Okay, he said the word you're not supposed to say, like the Kyle Larson. Yeah. That's kind of what I said. I said out of all the words, you said that. What's the matter?
Hello race fans and welcome to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for tonight's running in the BNR Cup Series. We've got 115 laps to race here tonight. Joined alongside me is Will Roberts. Will, how's it going tonight?
Going fairly dandy tonight. How about yourself, Chris?
Not too bad. Excited to bring these boys up into my neck of the woods up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I was about to say, we are up here in your neck of the woods. Have you ever been to a race here in New Hampshire?
Come on, Will. I grew up about 10 miles away from the track. I used to
So you've
go
been to quite
about
a
every
few.
year. Yeah.
Nice.
Into this super flat track. And you know what? It's very weird seeing no grandstands in 2 and 3 now.
Yeah, they took them out, eh?
Trying to get a camera where I can see that. Yeah, it's... Well, not in here, though.
They put billboards up in their place, right?
This is like RV parking. Well, in
Oh,
the sim,
yeah,
they
that's
did not
right.
get rid of them, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they don't get rid of whenever tracks do facial surgery, I guess you could call it. Because I think the grandstand at Talladega on the backstretch is still up.
Alright, looks like the cars are getting ready to roll, so we're going to take you down through the field now. Starting off on the pole is going to be Jaden Sanchez with Brandon Moore to his outside. Row 2 is going to be Caleb Sellner and Matthew Hunsaker. Row 3, Jason Pearson and Tyler Myers. Row 4 is going to be Brian Huntley and Nathan Line. Row 5, John Tiller and Aaron Bradford. Row number 6 is going to be Chris Campbell and Justin Steves. Row number 7 is going to be Pete Woodrum and Richard Johns, and bringing up the rear of the field is going to be Gary Maddow tonight. Here, Will, what do we think we're going to see here tonight at New Hampshire? I should say this afternoon.
Well, I say it's probably going to be pretty slick, these cars at New Hampshire. I've got to spectate a lot of New Hampshire races, and it's always pretty slick for the most part, Chris, especially with the track temp. I think I heard somebody say the track temp was over 120, so it's definitely going to be pretty slick for these drivers. So maybe some chaos, maybe some mild manners. You never know what to expect at the Magic Mile.
Sir, green flag about to come out here. Green flag is out for Jaden Sanchez. Gonna lead him down in the turn number 1. And Selner looking on his inside, not able to make a move quite yet. Sanchez gonna surge out of turn number 2 with Selner behind him. Moore currently holding down third, Will.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon got the start he was looking for on the outside of Sanchez to actually match him on the initial start. He's going to lose a position on the initial get up to go lap. So Selner, like you said, he was starting in that third position. He kind of is able to jump and take second away from Brandon Moore, but there's a tussle going on right behind JP. That is Huntley and Hunsaker going at it. It looks like Huntley will get the best of Hunsaker. And right behind them, you have Tyler Myers and John Tiller side by side going at it. Looks like Tiller still trying to get a nose in there to get on the bottom of Myers. So very tight, hard racing in the early days here, early laps. It can be a very tough track. I think we had one car up out of the groove, up towards the wall going into turn 1 that lap. New Hampshire, as you know, Chris, like you said, you just live 10 miles, or used to live 10 miles down the road, right? So, you know, it's a very tough track. It can be to pass at. You may have to use that chrome horn, that front bumper, to maybe move somebody up out of the groove. Don't wreck them, right? Just move them if you need be. This track truly races like a short track, but it's a mile long.
Yeah, you just run somebody. Don't need to wreck them, but you can make them go into the corner just a little bit faster than they wanted to, so they have to push up and you can strike on the low side, as we see Huntley doing without putting the bumper to Pearson, but he's making a move on the low side.
Yes, indeed. Huntley gets by Pearson, so everybody kind of single file for the most part here on lap 5, but there was a bit of Bradford was taking a look on Maydew, but nothing came of that back yonder. So up here you have Hunsaker, Tiller, and Myers trying to get by Pearson now, or making moves on Pearson.
Yeah, back to what you were talking about racing the track here, Will. Being it's so flat, but it's got long straights. It's you get the high speeds down the straights, and then you really gotta hammer the brakes because there's hardly any banking at this track. So you really, it's just a very flat track. So you're relying on the tire more than any banking.
Exactly. Like you talked about, very flat, so off-cambered, these left-handers are here at New Hampshire.
Here we go, Will, right here.
So, oh yes, perfect camera angle here to really get a feel for the flatness of this track. This track in Milwaukee have about, the Milwaukee Mile, have about the same amount of banking or flatness, I guess you could say. I think New Hampshire is flatter than Milwaukee. I know during the broadcast, I want to say it was me and Brian, I looked it up, and I think New Hampshire is flatter by like 2 degrees or something like that, without having to re-look it up.
The Milwaukee Mile and the Magic Mile.
Yes, indeed. Basically, you got to drive them very similar, right? Because of how they are to each other, but you have a little bit more banking in the turns here at New Hampshire, I do believe, without, like I said, having to go look it up. this place and Milwaukee, like flat tracks, particularly Gateway, even Phoenix, perhaps going into what is now turns 1 and 2, old 3 and 4, you really had to back the entry up to those, those tracks, these corners here, any type of track where you have kind of a decently long straightaway, for a track this length. Here, Martinsville, even though Martinsville is only a half mile, but the straightaways are nice little drag strips, right? And then you got to turn into the corner. Hard racing here for third position, Huntley and Brandon Moore. Huntley ever so slightly taking positions away, moving up through the front of the field, now inside the podium positions.
There's a battle going on right
10
behind
laps
them.
into the race.
Hunsaker just got by
Oh, yeah.
Pearson. That one unfolded right behind the battle we were just watching, Will.
And that was a battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th position here, as we noted on these cars earlier. Some moving up, some just maybe Pearson could just be conserving his tire at the moment, just letting everybody get by him.
Sellner closing in on Sanchez. Closing that gap into 3/10 now.
Yeah, I would say he's pretty much there at the moment. Like we talked about earlier, it can be pretty difficult to pass here, so you have to have that driver in front of you possibly make a mistake to get by.
Sellner maybe being one of those more long-run drivers, just needing a few laps to get that thing warmed up and get comfortable.
Just to talk about it now and get it out the way so we could keep talking about it the rest of the night. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we're going to the actual oval, the rectangular oval. We're not doing the road course this season, Chris, so it's going to be that oval configuration there at Indy that we will be going to next week, that 2.5 mile oval. Like I said, that rectangular oval. Vastly different from this track.
Very much so. It's a very it's a unique track all on its own. We don't have any other that are essentially squares, rectangles. I mean, there really
Pocono,
is.
Truly, Pocono is kind of its sister track. Pocono is somewhat modeled after it in a way, but like you said, we don't really have another rectangular track. Pocono's a very odd triangle, right? Already have a pit taker here. That is Maydew in the pits. We're going to get a replay here. Looks like he probably could have... Oh, yeah, the car's going to whip around on him coming out of the corner. Like I said, it's going to be very slick and treacherous, possibly out here this evening.
You got that inside wall.
I think we had a couple of cars behind him get together on the out. Can you rewind that and like switch to a different, like to the guy? I could have sworn I saw somebody get up and kick. It could have been just like the smoke coming. Could have sworn I saw somebody like go. Oh, okay. It was just how they came off the corner. Okay. My eyes deceived me, Chris. Which that happens.
That'll happen.
100 laps to go, though. But yeah, it looked like Maydew just kind of coming off of the exit of turn number 2. He could have been just a bit too low for the car's comfort, right, Chris? And the car just starts to whip around.
Yeah, this is a track that it's really easy to lose the rear end on exit, especially off turn 2. I feel like turn 2 is easier to lose it. Got a little battle brewing here. Bradford
what I was
line.
about to talk about.
And Steve's? Yeah, Steve's.
I was about to say about how Indianapolis, all four corner exits, corner entries and corner exits are vastly different. And that kind of is the same thing here at New Hampshire. Both corner exits are kind of, very different here. I feel like turn 4 narrows up as turn 2 kind of, it almost feels like it keeps going, right, Chris? And like you talked about, it's very easy to feel very comfortable exiting the corners and feel like, well, I can either let the car already prematurely straighten back out, but you're still trying to turn off the corner, or instead of, like you always hear, driving with an egg under the gas pedal, well, you kind of forget, kind of that you're doing that, and you throttle back up too early, and then you just start spinning your tires, and you're going to start sliding for days.
Absolutely.
And with that hard hit, I could assume that Maydew probably broke a toe link or some type of suspension component, and that's why he's been repairing that car for so long like he has. So,
I think he may be out.
it still says on the storing pylon in the pits. It doesn't say he's out currently. If he does, it doesn't. It hasn't updated the pylon yet. But
I'm just not able to find him.
Woodrum, 18.5 seconds back. That is the total gappage of the field from the race leader. He's driving that Coca-Cola. Yeah, that Coca-Cola throwback from a couple of years ago at Darlington.
A double throwback. Back to the old Earnhardt Coke. Or
Yes,
was that
indeed.
Steve Park?
90. No, you're correct. Dale Jr. and I want to say it was 98 or 99 whenever they went over to Twin Ring Motegi and drove the oval at Motegi. Dale Jr. actually finished one spot above his father in that race in that black Coca-Cola car right there with the number 1 on the side. That was kind of, I want to say that was Dale Jr.'s like maiden cup debut, was the non-points race at Motegi. I have the diecast, like the original Coca-Cola cars that you're referring to, the 3 and the 1.
The red one and the black one?
Yes.
Yeah, I like those.
Sellner still keeping a decent, distance away from Sellner. He's there. He's within reason, but like we talked about, either it's a bit too difficult to make a pass here at New Hampshire against someone who is maybe just a tenth quicker than you, but it's still going to be a wee bit difficult, right?
It's like these two up front, breaking off from the rest of the field, really right about 3 seconds ahead.
Yes, 3 seconds separates these two from the next competitor, Brian Huntley, in the number 19, sitting in 3rd position. And then Brandon Moore is trying to stay ahead of Hunsaker and even Pearson. Pearson's kind of in tow behind Hunsaker, trying to stay within that 5th, 6th position where Mr. Consistent normally runs. And then Tiller and Myers is still having that battle for 7th and 8th position. A little bit further, you have a little bit more separation. I think Richard and Bradford could be going at it, but oh.
This was Tiller getting by Myers. I was wondering if something might have happened to Myers, because there was a pretty good gap between them.
Could have just been tire fall off for Myers. Maybe he just started to overdrive the corner entry, maybe, and just started to burn his stuff up, perhaps. Because he is dropping like a rock. He's already going back to where Bradford and those guys are, back even further. So, yeah, like you talked about, something is just amiss with the 8 machine. Sellner now only dropping a 10th off of the way from Sanchez, but he's still there. Normally it's been about the 3/10 mark. Now it's floating down to that 4/10 of a second mark. But like I said, he's still here. So about to be 25 laps, or excuse me, yeah, we are 25 laps into this race, and no caution. We have had an incident for Maydew spinning out of turn number 2, but he spun off the track and hit the inside retaining wall. So now the gap has grown even more. So 25 seconds in total is down to Pete Woodrum. And he will probably, in just a couple of more laps, be in the danger zone for certainly of going one lap down if he's not most certainly already, which he is. Takes 30 and a half seconds to 32 seconds, give or take, tire fall off life, right, Chris? About getting around here in a timely fashion. So we right on board with Pete, and he is just trotting along around New Hampshire. He is really backing up his corner exit, that is for sure. Just kind of not completely hitting his marks here at the moment in time. Still, maybe Pete is one of the fellas that, just isn't that great at New Hampshire, and he's just, he's just trying to get on through to the next race, like we talked about at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week. So that would happen to me a lot, Chris. If it was a road course that I was not particularly well at, or maybe a short track, I would just be like, all right, well, I got to show up, get my points, right? So
Game plan is to finish.
exactly. First, you must finish.
Anything better than finishing on the lead lap is a victory.
Yeah, like you said, if you can just finish, bring the car home in one piece, that's a victory within and of itself too. Or like we talked about before in the past, try to set goals. Going into each race, depending on how many people show up, well, try to set top 10, top 5s, or nobody could get worse than a 15th place finish tonight. So, try to set yourself for a top 7 or a top 8, right? Or like what you just said, try to finish on the lead lap if you can.
More falling back, getting passed by a couple of cars. Pearson and Hunsaker making their way by.
Fuel window tonight, Chris. We could possibly see these guys kind of maybe make 2 stops. It just all depends. It truly depends. We might have to put on a pair of those tonight. But anyway, Chris, because of the fuel mileage only being about 62 to 65 laps, maybe 70 if people are going to be trying to save, get all they can get. They might get 70, but that's going to be a whole Hail Mary of an act of trying to get 70, So, let's just say 62 to 65. We could see some short takers coming in and have that short pitting and try to get fresher tires. But as we see, tires is always the big advantage on iRacing or any sim, truly. And if you have the fresher tires, that's going to be normally the prevail at the end of the thing. So it all depends on how the strategies will play out. Time will do tell. If we don't get a caution, we will see them pitting in about another 30 to 35 laps, Chris.
Yeah, so in theory, we could see one stop tonight, right?
Yeah, possibly. Good.
They made it to 60 laps. That's 120, double.
Yes. Yes. I don't know why I said possibly too. Thank you, Chris. Like you said, in theory, one stop. Yes.
Tires be a big issue, though. I mean, once you lose your front tire at this track, again, it's so flat. It's easy to burn them up because you're just turning too hard, and then once you burn it up, just forget it. The outside wall is going to become your best friend like you don't want.
Exactly. And like we talked about, getting back to the throttle, and you're not even completely off the corner exit, and that'll kick you in the wall too, or spin you down into the RV lot. So you got to be very careful, got to be mindful, got to always be aware here at New Hampshire. So Seldner's now as close as he's ever been, I think. He's back to that 0.3 of a second gap. He's still, lurking. He's still there. Like I said, he hasn't gone away from that 3 to 4 tenths of a second gap. But 35 laps now into this run. They have a 4 1/4 second lead over third place. Selner isn't fully looking, to pounce and take the lead away at the moment. Still possibly waiting for Jaden to make a mistake and the lead to come into him, right? So Woodrum now in the danger zone of going one lap down. He's 29, almost 30 seconds off the pace. That is him right in front of us as we ride on board with Jaden, going through 3 and 4 as Jaden enters 3 and 4. So that gives you a mindset of just how close the leaders are to the first car in danger. Jaden scraping, kissing, and trying to make out with the wall coming out of turn number 4, I do believe, Chris.
Yeah,
so
I
gotta
got
be
that
careful.
too.
Okay, I definitely wasn't seeing things that time.
No. Now 2
right.
tenths between Sanchez and Salner. Inside of 2 tenths.
Well, Pearson is drove back to Huntley, or Huntley's just fallen back to Pearson, one of the two. But the Hooters mobile is caught the interstate batteries. That is one odd pairing, wouldn't you say? I wouldn't want Monster all over my battery, though, even though it might be good if it's corroded, right? Have you ever poured a Coke over a corroded battery?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We used to do the...
Just imagine what that does to your insides.
Used to do the, was it baking soda and vinegar? Or water?
Yeah.
No, baking soda and water. Baking powder and water. I don't know. Not baking soda. Vinegar. It was water.
I know what you mean.
It's like some backyard mechanic type shit. I haven't seen that in a long ass time.
Type stuff, Chris. Come on now.
What?
What? Exactly. So, what would be halfway in this race? Like lap 62, lap 58? Like what's halfway here?
It's gonna be like 50s, maybe 7-ish.
Okay.
56, 56 and a half, I think.
Yes, I get you to have your brain hurting,
57.
not mine. Yes, that's why I ask these questions out loud, so you can help me with the math. So, I actually like Matthew's paint scheme with that monster car. I actually like that monster car. I wish that was a real monster car. So you have the battle of the energy drinks going at it right now for 6th and 5th position, Moore and Hunsaker. As I don't want to say, Huntley's kind of holding. Oh, Pearson overdrove the corner. He's going to lose 2 positions in one corner there off the corner exit. And I think Pearson might have kissed the wall himself. So we ain't really missing anything up front, I don't believe, as maybe Selner could actually be good. Yes, he is. Oh, now he goes for it. Yeah, they came across Christopher Campbell, lapping Campbell, and could have just been lapping Woodrum, too. Oh, they make contact off the corner exit of turn number 4. Oh, man. Like I said, such a difficult track to make an actual pass here. Even as you see Woodrum going after Campbell, he makes the pass, though, for that position. But what a slide job Woodrum put on Campbell, if you kind of think about it. But, man, these guys going at it for first and second, 4.5 seconds to the good to anybody else on their same lap. And, man, oh, man, you would have almost probably thought it was like maybe 25, maybe 15 to go. But, no, we're only 42 laps into this race, Chris. Waste. We are in a waste. Yeah, I went to baby mode for a minute. Oh, Huntley and Hunsaker going at it. Now, these guys have a little bit of probably history on the track, as we saw earlier in the season at Auto Club. Remember, Chris? So, oh, dearie me. And they're both in green cars. Green on a stock car is so bad luck, don't you know?
Hey, whoa. I have lime green on everything I race.
You don't like to hear that? Oh, well, I'm just saying, if it's a stock car, I've seen a lot of green stock cars not do well. And I've seen a lot of green sports cars, unfortunately, do well because Lamborghinis, but...
that's one superstition that I choose to not partake in. And yeah, I do the racing superstitions. But I do love this Interstate Batteries car. And actually, this looks like the one that Kyle Busch was driving here at New Hampshire when we had the rain. And he
All the
ended up
interstate
wrecking
battery
on
cars
lap one.
are all the
And
same.
yeah, and then he drove into the back of the pace car.
Yeah, that was a couple. That was the year.
2021, I believe.
Yeah, the final year of the Gen 6 car.
I remember that because it was it was a rain day, and since I live so close to the track, it was raining out. I remember.
Well, I remember it too because KB's one of my favorite drivers. So, yes, let's bring up all the bad times.
Well, there's 2 times you can count on it raining in New Hampshire, and that's when the race is here and Motorcycle Week. Guaranteed to rain.
Are you a motorcycle fan too?
I mean, I ride, but I'm not like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, motorcycle, woo. But
Robert
yes.
Amaral, or Robert Amar, however you pronounce Robert's last name. I'm sorry, Robert, if you're listening, but he's a motorcycle enthusiast. He rides a Harley. I don't have the perfect balance in the world. I couldn't ride a motorcycle like a 2-wheeled motorcycle.
Mine's an on-off-road
I'd have
dirt
to get
bike.
a trike. Oh, okay, there you go.
Like hitting the trails,
My brother had one of those.
doing wheelies.
Woodrum, now that people are getting lapped, he's finding people to race with now that the tires are really going away and more people are coming to him, so to speak. As I say that, he gets loose off corner exit of turn number 4, so every time I try to talk somebody up, they always try to find a dumpster on me.
Oh man, Meyer's having a bit of a connection issue there.
Yeah, he's blinking a little bit more than normal, I feel like, this race, so
Yeah.
that's unfortunate for Tyler. Now Selner has lost a few tenths of the Sanchez lead, so I say that, but he's still up here.
Possibly pushed it a bit too
6.
hard.
Yeah, just a wee bit. 6 1/4 second gap back to Huntley, Hunsaker, and Moore, and even Pearson. So that battle still rages on as Hunsaker takes the 3rd position away from Huntley momentarily. They could be side by side. Yes, they are. Oh, I love how the camera stayed there as you went to them. That's nice. Normally it just goes, like that. That's cool, Chris. So, yeah, Brian is kind of like the Ryan Newman of BNR or of iRacing. It seems like, of league racing in general. Like, he is kind of like the Ryan Newman, how they always talk about Ryan Newman is so difficult to pass. Brian is one of those types of guys.
I've been called that before.
Well, from what I've seen, at least you got a neck.
I got what?
At least you got a neck.
What do you mean?
Well, Ryan Newman's been called no neck before, same as me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bullies used to call me no neck in school. I'm just like, okay, how am I breathing then? I always thought that name given to somebody, like, if they don't really look like they have a neck, right? Like, I would always try to dissect their, like, insults. I got called Shrek before Kyle Busch called that to Ryan Newman. I'm like, man, I was getting called an ogre way before Kyle Busch made it famous. It was at this track too. So many memories we're thinking of while watching a New Hampshire race, eh? So, 52 laps in, still caution-free. We could have a caution-free race here tonight, Chris. Let me knock on this wood. So, 52 laps in, like I said, everything's calm, mild-mannered, except for a couple of hip checks here and there, but we still love to see it because it brings out that short track mentality. Like I said, New Hampshire, you almost got to drive it like a short track anyway. Some people still classify mile and belows, they still classify them as short tracks anyway. You're still going at a pretty good irate, speed. It's not like we're in the 50s or in the 40s.
Woodrum getting lapped by a few more cars. Probably just made Pearson a bit nervous there as he kind of threw it up before he entered the corner. Say Will about 57.5 is going to be the halfway point, so say not too long until I think we'd probably see some pit takers here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people started pitting around 57 to lap 60. Maybe try to get some type of advantage with fresh tires.
I mean, you kind of, once the first person pulls off, you kind of have to at that point.
Almost have to, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to start falling backwards and you'll not be able to catch that time back up.
Can you run the road course version here with stock cars, or is it only like the Formula Fords?
Yeah, you can run whatever you want, wherever you want. You're talking on iRacing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can run anything here. I put a dirt big block mod on the road course here.
But the road course isn't really wide enough for it because it goes out of the track up on the hill, right? Like, it's not really wide
right
for
there.
a stock car, is it?
No, it is. Thought that'd
Because
be a
I'm
cool
always
one to
thinking
do.
about where, like what to do, what would kind of be intriguing or interesting to do, what, Chris? So
Maybe you can we'll do some testing and get the BNR guys to put it on the truck schedule.
I would like to either do that or like the Gateway road course.
Anything's better than just Gateway. I don't think you know what? It's so funny because I think when they put Gateway back on, everybody was just all about it and everything, and now everybody hates it. But here come the pit takers, starting off with Hunsaker, Tiller.
Oh, hey,
Woodrum.
we could be a crew chief for some of these guys. Because they came down right at the lap we kind of started guessing, right? Or well, not really guessing, but trying to play, next morning, crew chief, so to speak. Now coming to complete 59 laps of this race. We already are starting to see green flag pit stops occurring. And this should be the only pit stop that everybody should have to make this evening. Sellner's kind of fallen off the pace just ever so slightly. He, lost a tenth, I would have to say, but he's still there. He's been the only one to stay within reason of Sanchez all 60 laps of happening. As he brings his 99 Camaro in.
Looks like he's coming down
That
alone.
NASCAR Cup Series billboard used to say Winston, and then it said Nextel.
The Nextel days is when I was going to the Speedway the most. Because back when it was Winston, you couldn't get tickets to go to the track. So they were like reserved. You had your name until you decided to give them up, and if you didn't know anybody, you couldn't go.
Yeah, I had a great uncle that had season tickets to Bristol whenever I was younger. And I had a friend that owned the local Ace Hardware that used to come in like our family restaurant. And they both had, like they both would have season tickets, right, to Bristol. And man, they said trying to get tickets if he wasn't a season ticket holder was, just like trying to pull teeth, right? Like it was so excruciatingly, like rough, right? Because, like you said, back in the day, these places used to be sold out from corner to corner, and now they, it'd be good. It's a great day, for sure if they can get a sellout crowd. Especially with them having to take away like the seating area or trying to like
That whole stand we
not
can see
have
right there, that's all gone now.
yeah,
Well, I guess they figured they can make it's more profitable to have those as RV spots instead of having half the stands empty.
yeah, because like we
Imagine,
talked about,
I mean,
Talladega did that. Daytona even did that.
imagine having a sitting in your RV, you're on the roof of your RV, right up on that hillside. Like, how cool would that be?
Oh, that'd be really cool
I mean, heck, you
for
could sit
sure.
like right in the driver's seat where they're usually pretty comfy in RVs. Throw your feet up and watch out the windshield in your AC.
My great uncle used to take his RV to Talladega and watch them from the infield. So yeah, I would imagine it would be really cool.
I
So
don't.
we're just slightly past the halfway point. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't particularly like watching on the infield because you're spinning in circles and I'd get dizzy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know whenever I went to the 600 with everybody, like being in a fixed certain spot, like where you're still able to see the whole track, like that's really nice.
Huntley come down pit road. Looks like Woodrum is. Oh, he's coming back down, so he did leave pits.
So everybody's currently a lap down except for a few cars. Some of these drivers should get back on the lead lap after the cycle is fully completed.
Here comes Sanchez.
Could the short pitting, the undercut, be stronger here this evening?
Well, it's gonna be
Selner.
Hunsaker's gonna be the first one. I believe he was the first one that started everything off, wasn't he?
Yes.
Selner just too far ahead, so it's not gonna even get him up to Selner. It's gonna bring him up to fourth though. As let's see who's this? Steve's now coming down pit
He'll
road.
be third.
Yeah.
He'll be third whenever it cycles out. So he actually gained a little bit, to be honest, because he's kind of there on Jaden,
Oh,
but Jaden has
Will, we got the yellow flag.
looks like who is the yellow on?
Brian.
Oh no.
Let's see what happened. Something happened leaving pit road. Maybe not. Oh, cold tires got him. I'll bring that back a bit more.
Ooh. He just sponged it in the wall with the rear end, just enough to. But yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with
Ooh.
you on this one. Possibly, I don't think there was
Hold
contact
on.
made, was there?
Let's take that back. There might have been.
Right in the center of the corner, right in the.
Yeah, that was contact. Brian tries to correct it, and it just not happening. Maybe if he wasn't on cold tires, he might have been able to save that.
Yeah, for sure. And it's gonna shorten up that car by a few inches, that's for sure. Well, that little barn is in the way, or that little that little old shack. I was gonna say I couldn't tell if Brian was kind of cutting down, like diamonding the corner, and Nathan was just underneath him and just holding the middle-ish line of the
Well,
track there.
let's take an overhead look.
Yeah. Because I think Nathan just came out the pits here. Nathan Line coming out of the pits. He's for sure on cold tires. And yeah, he
I
just,
think he came up.
I think, yeah, Nathan comes up ever so, just the slightest.
They were both holding their lines perfectly
Oh, yeah.
until right at the end there, and Nathan kind of slipped upwards. Right
But that's a
here.
product of this racing, though. Like we have talked about, you have to almost drive it like a short track. And if you were on cold tires, like what you were saying initially, like the car is not going to be handling to optimal, you know, uh, you know, um, physics. I'll spit something out, Chris.
All right, so Will, what do you think? Anybody gonna pit?
Well, they just kind of pitted.
I'll be honest with you. I personally, I feel like I would. You could have the freshest
Oh, I feel
tires.
like I probably would too.
You could have the freshest tires, and there's not. I mean, what there's 13 cars on the lead lap, and chances are, if you pit, people are gonna follow you.
Have they already pitted?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, everybody just pitted.
No, I mean like while we were watching the replay, do you see anybody?
Oh.
It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like they came back down. Nobody. It doesn't look like anybody's came back down.
The problem is, I can see a little blip on the right side, and it has to take takes a couple laps for the number to actually pop up, so we can see it. So I think they may have actually just they may have just pitted. So we'll check back on that in a minute.
10-4. But yeah, like I'm kind of like with you. Like if I can get a chance to come down and pit almost every time, like you talked about it, good chance, a possibility of bringing everybody back down with you to have the freshest of fresh tires. You know, especially at a place like New Hampshire, where after about maybe 10 laps, you really got to go almost into conserve mode or trying to help, keep those tires last as long as possible, almost from the drop of the green flag, Chris.
Yeah, looking at the field lineup here, Steve's up in the front. They definitely just pitted. And I believe Steve's was the last one to pit, I mean, right before that caution came out. So there really isn't much reason for him to pit anyways. As the pace car is off, green flag is just about to come back out. There it is. Steve's going to bring him to the line with Sanchez on his outside, heading down in the turn number one. Sanchez got a great restart on the high side. He's going to clear Steve's. Hunsaker's trying to follow him on the outside. And now they're coming up off of turn number two. Pearson going to pass Steve's on the high side with Selner right behind him. They're almost going three wide, Will, into turn number three.
Yep. Selner still trying to find a way by Steve's. Finally gets by. Steve just not able to get up to power quick enough here. He was just, I don't know if he was just spinning his tires for days on the restart or what, but still getting passed by everybody. So he could just instantly, like I said, go in that conserve mode from the drop of the green flag. And it was, it took a good minute to Selner to get by him, but Sanchez might have tagged the wall there. Coming out of two, I'm not 100% sure.
So yeah, Steve's and Bradford and on back did not pit under that, and the rest of them did. You said that's how Steve's ended up there in first. Just compliment what you had said about going backwards on.
Maybe Justin just got caught out, and he was probably going to pit, but it was just probably too late, and everybody pitted again behind him, and that's probably what caught him out. So what is that, 40 to go? No. Yeah, okay, I was right. Always go with the gut.
Taylor looking on the low side of Moore. Not able to make a pass happen right now. Gonna fall in back behind him going down the backstretch. Hunsaker being able to hold on to second place since he made that move to get up towards the front. The pit strategy. Sellner on his back bumper now, though, Will.
Yeah, I was going to say Sellner kind of being compromised, restarting behind Justin. That kind of hurt him. And Jaden got such a good launch, like you talked about, got such a good restart. And with Hunsaker taking over the second position, this is kind of harping Sellner's advance back to Jaden. If he was going to have anything possibly for Jaden, it could have been on that restart right there. And now Jaden is inching away from this battle for second and third. Like if Sellner wants to get back up there, he's got to dispose of Hunsaker. Sellner's in a Ford. I thought he was in a Camaro.
Nope, just one of those goofy new Fords.
Yep.
Oh, contact back here. Richards and Bradford just making contact.
It was still going on.
Bradford loses the nose of his car.
Oh, he's got something broke. I saw some sparks underneath that car as it was traveling through 3 and 4.
See where. Oh. Alright, let's back that up a little bit further. Looks like it starts with Richard. He gets loose off of 2.
Oh.
Ends up coming back across the track. Boom.
Yeah, that's
right into
just that
Bradford.
overcorrection. He had it corrected, but then it yawed away from him, and he gathered it back up for just a mere millisecond. Then it kicked away back to the right, and this rack and pinion steering that these cars have now, that it's really easy to overcorrect.
Bradford still missing the nose of his car, but seems like he's still able to go as Steve's jerks way away from him.
Yeah, Justin said, let me get away. Let me help you get away. Sellner taking the second position away from Hunsaker. Don't know what happened to Hunsaker as he is now in the clutches of Pearson, as Sellner up there trying to do something with Sanchez. Closing in on 30 laps to go. Man, they just knocking them away here tonight, Chris. Only having one caution so far of asking. Hopefully we don't have a reading caution test at the end of this thing, but I wasn't trying to jinx nothing by no means. Okay, so we getting a replay for the second exchange for the second position. This is how it happened. Going into turn 3, Sellner gets a good entry and is able to swoop down underneath and take that position away. As you see Pearson trying now to do something with Hunsaker. Huntley on a drive back in 5th position, trying to go up and get back into the podium positions.
Glad to see Brian back up in the top 5 after backing into the wall. Didn't pork him too bad.
Right.
Bradford, it's good to see he's still able to battle without the nose on that car because he is fighting for position with Steve's right there. That's for 8th place.
Yes, that is. Yeah, top 10 at the moment, 8th and 9th.
Bradford's car apparently looks a lot worse than it actually is because he's still holding on just fine. Maybe a little bit of speed loss, but yeah, exactly. Will, I miss the days when they used to just cut the fronts of the cars off and go finish the race. Now it's like, if you don't have the whole body, you can't race.
Yeah, sadness, I know.
I know. I say it was great when we had a bunch of modifieds finish the stock car race.
Oh. I just had to like refresh the stream. I was wondering why I was so far behind whenever I looked up. Like, where am I? So still a good fierce battle going on for 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions. As we look down the totem pole trying to find other positions a mix. Not really. Maybe the Myers-Campbell battle, maybe. How close are they to... Not... Yeah, that's like an F1 style battle.
Taking an F1.
You know how...
Well, I remember I saw a open wheel. I don't know what it was back then. To me, everything open wheel was called Indy, so call it whatever it was.
Well,
but
yeah.
when they had open wheel at New Hampshire, that was pretty cool. Because those cars can hit the corners fast. Like slot cars.
It probably was the IRL, the Indy Racing League at New Hampshire.
I mean, that was like the late 90s, probably. They haven't
Early
been there
2000s.
in a long time.
Late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, the last time IndyCar raced at New Hampshire, I want to say was like 2006. It was something like that.
I don't know. Whenever I saw them, it was like late 90s.
Right, because they used to race here. They used to race at Dover. They used to race at Charlotte. They used to race at Texas. Well, they still kind of race at Texas, but
oh, Selner's got some damage. He's got some pretty decent right side damage on that. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, you're good. And he probably found the wall, possibly. So 25 laps to go here. We haven't even done a crank it up tonight.
All right, well, that sounds like a good idea, actually, Will. Let's do it.
Well,
Crank it up. Welcome back to New Hampshire. Sanchez
And we got
still
20
out front. Go ahead, Will.
We got 20 laps to go, and Brandon Moore is making his presence known into the top 5. He just took the 5th position away from Brian Huntley while we were doing our Crank It Up segment. Now he's taking his eyes and setting them on Jason Pearson in the 13 Hooters machine, as he is still working on away by Hunsaker. He still can't figure Hunsaker out at the moment. Riding on board now with Brandon, getting to see his gears and telemetry. Looks like he's keeping it in 4th gear all the way around this magic mile.
Well, speaking of the gears and telemetry, all that dash info right there, have you ever noticed that some cars, real life NASCAR, they blur that out when they're doing like in-car cameras?
Fox did that last season.
I specifically remember Robert Kozlowski's car.
Yeah, like there were, like even the teams and even the NBC and other, either other broadcasters in the booth said there was really no need to be doing it, but like Fox thought that they should blur it out for some reason, but there's really nothing on that electronic.
Whoa!
Big slide moment for Pearson coming off of turn number 2. That's going to make him lose a lot of momentum and the whole straightaway for recovery. So 4th position going to the wayside, and Brandon Moore will pick that position up and put it in his Captain Crunch Bowl. Oh, caution is out.
Involving Pearson.
While we were looking.
Oh, but Huntley right here too. Let's see.
Oh, this was right as we were going away from the replay. This happened. We were going back live, and this happened. Bam.
Huntley again.
Man.
Did Brian make contact with the ball? I don't think he did now.
But he's going to need another set of tires.
Fortunately for him, we were under caution. Looks like everybody's going to bring it down pit road now.
There's a 3-hour figure 8 race happening right now. Get out of here.
You get out of here.
That's hilarious.
What?
47th annual WF8 championship. World Figure 8.
Are you talking iRacing or like real?
No, real life.
3 hours, huh?
Yeah, 47th annual World Figure 8 championship. 3-hour figure 8 race. Look it up right now. It's on low budget TV on YouTube. Like, it's got 288 people watching it. They started like an hour ago. There's like an hour and 42 minutes left. I only found this because I had to reopen the stream.
Bradford's the new leader with his no-nos. Yeah.
Yeah, Bradford. I wouldn't even repair that car. Just get 4 new tires, or well, I guess you know what I meant. Man, they even have cautions for the figure 8 racing. I didn't know that there was cautions in figure 8 racing. It's like a their pace vehicle is like a local short track like stock car truck. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You've seen them, Chris?
Yeah.
I'm still amazed by the World Figure 8 like racing thing here. I'm still amazed by this. Like, I knew that they did stuff like this, but I didn't know to this type of man.
If the lights don't go off this time, we're going to talk to Bradford. I'm not sure. I think they should go off this time. I'm not sure, though. Yeah, they do. So let's not bother any of the drivers since they're going to be going back to green. Closing in on 10 to go.
Where is this track at? Oh, Indianapolis Speedrome in Indiana. Interesting.
All right, Will, who's your pick? Who's going to win?
Well, I don't think Caleb's going to get another good restart. I think he's going to have another one of those baggy restarts because just having to start behind Bradford. No disrespect to Bradford, but unless Bradford can't get going, Caleb's not going to get going. But Jaden will. So I don't know. I want to say Jaden because he's dominated the race, but I want to say Caleb because he's been there with him all race. You know, like waiting. Green flag back out in the air tonight, Chris. Hopefully for the final time. 12-lap shootout of asking as they barrel into turns 1 and 2. Bradford goes a bit high, walks it up the track. Jaden has to navigate. So does Caleb. He gets put 3 wide. Who's going to make it off the corner straighter than the other? It looked like Caleb did. He's going to be side by side going into turn numbers 3 and 4 with him as Bradford is still rubbing up the track into other competitors. Oh, they are 3 wide. Oh, my goodness.
Sellner.
They are spinneroonies. Yes. Caution is back out. Brandon Moore is collected in Caleb Spinneroonie. We're going to get a replay of this and see who started the Spinneroonie. Oh, did Brandon swing it down? Brandon's there, and then Caleb is going to try to look down there to get a run off the corner to be side by side with Jaden, but Brandon's already down there, and they make contact, and away they go to start to go to Spinneroonieville. Luckily, because of how you exit the corner, wash up towards the wall on corner exit here at New Hampshire in these stock cars. Thank goodness we're not in an Indy car because you would be straighter coming off the corner, right? So, well, most of the time. But anyway, thankfully, nobody else involved in this. Light contact made, so the cars shouldn't be hurt too much. But look at Bradford. Brad is getting all he can get. Rubbing up against, he's like, I need some monster with my Mobile 1. But we're going to see here how Caleb, he's going to shoot down the track and try to, I want to ride on board with Caleb. Did Caleb send Jaden into the corner?
Up on board with Caleb Sellner.
Like, can we do like a roof view instead of the in-car view because that roll cage is going to be in the way?
It's the best I can do.
Oh, go back a little bit more. Oh, okay, that's good. Ooh. So they're side by side here going into turn 3, and ooh, yeah, Caleb kind of washes up. He gets tight, and he's going to wash up, and then he's going to pivot back down, but Brandon's already there. That's where the contact comes from. So just hard racing here in the late stages.
Fortunately, nobody getting damage out of that, though. I believe that damage on Sellner's nose is what he's already had.
Right, not a lot of significant damage like you're talking about, so. Man, this figure 8 racing is sketchy. Oh my goodness. How do you officiate this stuff? Anyway, lights are back out on the pace car. I probably jinxed it whenever I was saying hopefully for the final time last time, so I'm not going to say it this time. So I'm going to get the restart with 7 laps to go, but now that, the racing gods know what I'm thinking and hoping for, it's probably just, like I said earlier, it's probably going to be a caution fest until we see the checkered flag, Chris. So even though you try to knock on wood and prevent all these things, I'm just going to throw that thing out the window too. So Hunsaker's going to be restarting on that outside line. Jaden's on the inside. Don't know if he brake checked Tiller there or not. So Tiller's going to be restarting in 3rd position. Pearson in 4th position. And Huntley will be 5th with Nathan Line to his outside in 6th position. Tyler Myers or Justin Steeves makes up 7th and 8th. And Campbell and Selner, that's the top 10. And away we go again, barreling into turns 1 and 2. Who's not going to break and who is? Like everybody able to make it through 1 and 2 that time? Now let's try for 3 and 4. Pearson in 3rd position. Almost 3 wide again. Huntley in a
line
sandwich.
up in the wall.
Yeah, he's way up there. He went to go say goodbye to all those fans. So, like you say, those grandstands aren't even there anymore in the real world. So,
Course quarters with Tiller and Huntley.
yeah, they're leaning on each other. And here comes Justin. No, yes, that is Justin Steeves. So many green or teal cars. But,
a lot of Mountain Dew on the track tonight.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, let's see. That's Monster. Pearson's got Mountain Dew on his car. He's got Mountain Dew on the rear quarter of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve's, of course, is Mountain Dew. Moore has Mountain Dew. And
Nathan Lyon now getting bombarded by Tyler. Oh! Oh, man, Tiller overdrove the corner entry, or did he get, let's rewind it a little bit.
That was on his own.
Oh, yeah, it was. Oh, man. Brandon Moore gets caught up in it again. He was on a drive back after having a tandem spin out with Caleb. Oh, man.
Brian gets a piece of that.
Caleb avoids it, I think. Does he?
Yes.
I think he still skimmed the wall trying to avoid it.
I think he just barely cleared it.
Man. Yeah, I think he did too.
Look at this guy down here in the front row dancing with his arms up. That's not very nice. People wrecking.
Those 3D models, man. Or those...
They're like
I guess
2D.
they're actually 2D. They're not even 3D.
Alright, so we got 3 to go, so we're gonna go for a green-white checkered here, Will. Sanchez gonna be firing off first. Hunsaker's right there in second. Jason Pearson gonna be third.
Yes, it will be the first attempt at a green-white checkered. We have 3 attempts here in the BNR Racing Series. So can Jaden keep getting these good restarts that he's been having all restarts long this evening? Or is he going to slip up and make a mistake on this next restart? Can Hunsaker capitalize? Pearson's there. Huntley, how much damage does Huntley have to his automobile? How much damage does any more of these guys have? No pun intended to Brandon. But, all good questions to be asking. Bradford's still back there in his modified.
Keeps it cooler.
Brandon able to get back out there, but he's going to be one lap down.
I think something just happened coming off of pit road to him. He's got a good bit of damage there. Oh, yeah, that car's not going to drive right.
I think it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
transmission. Oh,
No.
yeah, good point. Yeah, that car's... Oh, yeah, that front toe's still broken.
Man, what a bummer. Moore having such a great night.
Yeah, he was being pretty consistent in the 5th, 4th, 6th positions around there. Anyway, getting the restart here for the first green-white checkered attempt. This is the first green-white checkered attempt, right? Anyway,
Yes,
so,
first and hopefully last.
right?
We'll go to one and done. Here they go down to the turn number one, side by side, Sanchez and Hunsaker. Sanchez going to shoot out ahead. Hunsaker's a little loose off the corner, and we got the wreck.
Oh, very loose, very loose. He's coming across the nose of Pearson. Oh, man. Second green-white checkered attempt is out, and as we're going to get a replay, that man, Pearson was having a good night, too, man. He was having an outstanding, a fantastic, a slobber knocker of a night. He was up here in the top, top 3, top 5 all night long, Chris. And Matthew just getting loose up out of the corner, and it just wanted to just yaw away from him here, and comes across the nose of Pearson. Pearson holding the middle line off the corner exit. Nowhere to go for Caleb Sellner. He's involved in this one too. Oh, my goodness. Man, oh man, such tight racing coming off these corners on the restarts or even the initial drop of the green flag from the start of the race. And you're just trying to get all you can get, the position possible and everything to that effect. And it just flips the race over. Now look at Brian Huntley. After being in the wars of this race, he's been in the battles. He is setting currently P2. He's going to be to Jaden's side. Whether he picks the inside or outside, he will line up to the side of Jaden. And we know how excellently well Brian can be under braking at these short tracks. He has dominated Martinsville before in the past. He has ran well here before in the past at New Hampshire. I would say, like, whenever it comes to short tracks, Brian has really got the short tracks jotted down after years of struggling at the short tracks. Really, except for Bristol, he was fairly well at Bristol, but for years I feel like Brian kind of struggled at the short tracks, but finally got them jotted down well enough to contend for these wins. Chris put himself in the best position possible, trying to get into Jaden's psyche just a little bit, messing with him underneath the caution here. So kind of being like, okay, which lane you gonna choose here, bud? Kind of which one are you thinking about? So
Playing games.
And Caleb Sellner, after he's been in the wars himself, he's up here in the 3rd position. Bradford, we talked about Bradford's struggles. He looks like a big block modified, or from the Wheeling modified series.
Do the 22 and 19 have beef?
That caution puts Brandon back on the lead lap, like you talked about. One of the goals for this race that you would at least set up for yourself, Chris, is to finish on the lead lap, right? So hopefully Brandon can finish on the lead lap, even though we saw just how badly damaged that car is after getting beat by all sides of the car.
Well, he's only got to do 2 laps, so maybe he'll keep on the lead lap, but I don't know. We'll have to see how he can take turn 1 and see what happens. Up to speed, he might just go straight into the wall. Who knows?
I like orange soda. I love orange soda.
Every great once in a while. I'm not much for soda. It's bad for your teeth.
Oh, well, a lot of stuff is bad for your teeth.
I know. I stopped eating candy too. I miss it, but teeth are expensive,
oh, man.
man.
You've gone that deep. Well, yeah, that's true. I used to like Airheads and stuff like that. I was big into Airheads.
Sour Patch Kids used to be my favorite.
No, I wasn't much into like sour stuff. I liked like gummy worms and gummy bears, but whenever it came to like the sour, anyway, the restart is upon us here. Getting done working our 5th caution, and the green flag's going to be back up in the air. Here we go. Great launch by all 3 of the podium contenders at the moment. Everybody's going to barrel into 1 and 2. What's it going to be? Sellner trying to get there, trying anything in the world he can to get to Jaden. But so is Brian. Brian's still to the outside. It's a drag race for 2nd place. Jaden's loving every second that he sees in the mirror. Now Sellner gets by Huntley, coming to the stripe for the white flag, Chris.
Here they come right to the line. They've got that white flag, so this one's going to be official now. Sanchez still holding the position down to the 1. Sellner doing anything he can to get to him, like you said, Will. Trying to close up on the back bumper, heading down the backstretch now. He's going to have his last chance to make it right here.
And it's a fierce battle behind Huntley, 4th on back. But I don't think... Oh, Sellner's going to dive underneath at
Doors
the door.
him. Oh, no!
Oh, there's more chaos! More chaos!
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Sellner gets hit again.
Man,
wow.
Oh, look at Brandon. Look at Brandon. He almost got a top 10 after all that just melee coming off of the final corners, man. Sellner really sent it in there, got up beside Jaden, roughed him up, but unfortunately the car just couldn't take any more roughhousing and just completely came around on him. Man, we're just going to see this final lap here. Oh, man, they were trying to wreck for a good minute back here. Man, they were trying to wreck for the entire white flag lap. Bradford's way up there. Oh, right, good still frame moment of Sellner trying to send Jaden to the hot dog stand.
Oh, Campbell goes up across Bradford's nose, and that's what does it right there.
Oh, man. Wow, Campbell comes off the ground. Such a hard impact that and Pearson sliding. I think Johns might have got a top 5. I'd have to look at the rundown in a minute, but man, Look at that.
Richard Johns in 5th. Sellner just barely beats Tiller for 7th. Man, that was just...
Brock'em Sock'em here tonight at New Hampshire, Chris. Whenever I normally say exchanging blows, I mean like crossover moves. I don't mean like hip checks, door checks, fender checks. But we saw a hockey fight tonight here at Loudon.
Man. All right, well, let's take a quick break and we'll get back with the top 3 finishers.
4. I don't know how many cautions these people have had since I've started. There's somebody with a school bus like body frame in this race. They have like a school.
Welcome back to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We've got a few of our top finishers with us right now. We'll start off with Justin Steves bringing it home on the podium tonight. Justin, tell us how you ended up on the finish.
To be honest, I have no idea how I even pulled off that third place finish. I am not going to lie.
Will, what do you got for him?
Yeah, Justin, it was a pretty chill, mild-mannered race for the most part for about 67 or 72 laps, somewhere around that ballpark. And then a caution came out, really threw everything for a loop. After that, you guys just, I don't want to say cautions were breeding cautions, but cautions were breeding cautions, right, Justin? And really, you kind of had the perfect positioning whenever all that started happening, because you were like the last pit road taker, and then the caution came out, right? So you almost had great positioning. Did you just spin your tires on that restart, or did you just let everybody did you just decide not to get up and go, or what happened, Justin?
I'm not used to being the control car for a restart. I didn't know when the light thing was going to turn green because, it used to be we had to start in restart zone. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I'm going to be completely honest, it kind of caught me off guard because I'm never restarting up at the front being the control car.
Well, anyway, so we
I
get
kind of
past
got caught
that.
sleeping on it.
Well, it happens. It happens to the best of them. So we get past that restart, and then later on, we start getting the green, white checkers. And, like you said, you just kind of found yourself in the right position, and just very, very lucky here tonight whenever the Rock'em Sock'em started happening, right? And once you guys got the white flag, man, you guys were trying for the whole lap, it looked like, to you guys were going at it whenever the white flag truly came out. And give us your perspective of the final lap, Justin.
Perspective of the final lap. Oh, where do I even start? A lot happened. I was starting that final lap. I was in 5th place. saw Aaron go slip up high in 1 and 2. So that gave me 4th, and going to 3 and 4 seems like that's where all the chaos calamity started happening. Something with Jaden and Caleb happened off of 4, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time to avoid him coming back down the track, and had just enough speed to hold off Nathan coming to the line, because that was extremely close between me and him for 3rd and 4th.
It was extremely close. And next week, that was a whole lot to, like, even us in the booth, to take in and spectate and watch, and it all happening so quickly. Next week is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I can't believe I'm finally getting comfortable with saying that. But yes, the Brickyard. We're actually doing the oval this season. We're not doing the road course. So the oval, the rectangle. Tell us about it. What you would kind of prep for going into Indy.
Trying to think here, because it's been too long since we've even raced at that track.
Yeah, it's been a fresh minute.
I say basically just have to focus on nailing those entries going into turn 1 into turn 3, so you're not carrying too much speed, where when you go get back on the gas, you're not pancaking that ball in the middle of both of those turns, and try to paint that white line down the bottom off both of the exits, swinging out towards the wall, so you can carry enough speed going down the straightaways. And draft is going to be very important at that track for you to get a run on somebody.
Yes,
you make
indeed.
You make that dive bomb move, you better hope you can stick it to the bottom. If you go flinging up under somebody else, they'll be like that Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Busch wreck at Indy that 1 year.
Yeah, that almost gave Jimmy Johnson the win, but then Jimmy, yes, that was the year that Casey Kane won, if I'm not mistaken.
The whole
So,
calamity
any final?
fest of that race.
Yes. Final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate this wild podium finish?
I'd like to thank my sponsor, Baja Blast, the official fuel of me, because I was also drinking that the night while I was racing, because I got Taco Bell. So, Baja.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
And also you guys for covering and broadcasting the race, and for everybody who helps put on all the races during the week for a BNR.
Well, thank you for talking to us tonight, Justin, and getting your side of all the wacky racing that happened here tonight. It was just a boxing match, really, from the green flag just to the checkered. Like I said, had a good green flag run, and then all that at the end. But anyway, best of luck to you next week, Justin. So, and happy Easter, by the way, tomorrow.
Happy Easter to you guys too.
All right, let's see if we can steal Brian. There we go. Brian Huntley bringing it home in second place. Brian, you had a great run tonight, got in plenty of trouble, but still ended up on the podium. Glad to see you up there. Tell us about it.
It was rough. That is about all I'm saying. That was a little rough. Very good through the middle of the track. I really didn't run the outside lane too much. When I got to the very outside up there, I was very tight. I was doing a lot of downshifting throughout the whole race. The Toyota was on ice. If I got in the throttle, a little bit too early. So it was sketchy. It was absolutely sketchy. I didn't want to get on the throttle, because I knew if I get on the throttle early, yeah, I'm in trouble. And wiping cars out behind me. Now the other wreck situation, those are those a little rough. I was just a magnet tonight, I guess, shall we say?
That
It can
indeed
be
you
like
were.
that sometimes, Brian.
Uh, well, to believe it or not, I'm gonna tell you this: New Hampshire really isn't one of my favorites. I like it. It is just a Martinsville on steroids, is all it is,
Hmm.
with maybe
It's
a
a Martin.
little slight bankment, not too much.
All right, Will. What
Yeah,
do
I
you got
agree
for
with
him?
that. It's a Martinsville with just a little, it's a New Hampshire is a mile. Martinsville is just a half mile, so it's basically just a half mile more. And like you said, it really it brings out the best in everybody. Sometimes, every track can do that. Like you talked about tonight was just it turned into be a struggle because after the cycle of pit stops was looking to be done and over with, you there was contact made and first caution of the evening came out after I do believe it was like 60. It was either 67 or
Mhm.
70 laps caution free, which I felt like there was probably maybe a caution earlier that didn't happen for Maydew because he was off the racing surface, but um, you know caution free for that long a period of time. Very surprising, especially looking at how slick the cars kind of look to be off of corner exit at times. And, just you guys never could seem to find another rhythm like that again because you guys had like I want to say about a 15 lap run, and then you guys started having more cautions. And what was your take on the final lap? Just trying to get uh, you know done and over with this race after having the first green white checkered attempt and then having to go through the second one, not wanting to get to the third one.
There he is. Oh, sorry. Um, yeah, I just wanted to get this race done and be but under that caution, I was toying around with Jaden, was making him paranoid. And then I heard you guys saying, I'm like, yeah. I said that's the easiest way to get to him. But no, once we had that caution that came out in the restart, I thought I was done, literally. I'm like, I think I'm regretting this staying out because everybody from I think I don't know who pitted on behind me. They're all on fresh tires. I'm like, okay. Um, my restarts were never good. That's the one thing I struggle on, and I do have to get better, must I say. But I like the long green flag runs. I do better than we're doing restarts and cautions and stuff like that. So but I like I said the restart. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be easy. I'm going to let Caleb and Jaden go ahead and duke it out because I knew something like that was gonna happen. And I'm like, okay, well now I just hope that I don't get involved in it. And I tell you what, my rear end puckered when I seen Caleb come back down.
Yeah, I described it as like a rock'em sock'em boxing match there on the final lap between everybody in the field. It looked like just everybody. They saw the white flag wave and they were almost like sharks seeing blood in the water. And especially Caleb, man, he went for a move I thought I'd never see him make, and it almost stuck. He almost sent Caleb for a hot dog, but he was able to drive out the stands and get to the checkered flag first, like you mentioned. Next week we're going to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to the rectangle, not the road course. So we're going on the oval configuration. What's your
Oh,
thoughts
fantastic.
yes? What's your thoughts of taking the Gen 7 car to the oval?
Well, for you and Chris here, we did some testing, like a little bit of recruitment races there. Um,
Hmm.
I'm confident. The Toyota it handles really good in that recruitment race. There's me and Austin 1-2, so it's just going to be protect the right sides. Hit your marks. Um, if you're running a low line, hug that low line. You don't want another car get under there. But I like the Brickyard. It can provide good racing, but sometimes it can be a struggle when those tires start to wear. And we figured that out when we did a couple of recoupment races there. But I got some confidence going into Indianapolis, so I guess time would tell.
Yes, indeed. Final thoughts, shout-outs, anything before we let you go celebrate this P2 finish, Brian?
Of course. I'd like to thank Chris and Will for their awesome commentary team over here on Saturdays. We all get a kick out of it. I'd like to thank my admin crew, Tyler Bradford, Christopher Campbell, Jason Pearson, Josh, myself, Austin Moore, Jacob Carter, and the drivers who came out tonight for New Hampshire. Couldn't be any more happier than trying to keep the fields the way we normally have it, but the most dedication tonight goes to you two. All the hard work you guys do, and even though I know it's just commentary, but we try to provide you guys the best excitement that we can, and looking forward to Indy.
Old Holmes just hit Panera. I guess he wanted some bread on that first base. Anyway,
Racing,
thanks
Will,
for
racing.
talking to us tonight. Yeah, racing. Get out of here without ballpark analogies. Yes, thanks for talking to us tonight, Brian.
problem.
Congratulations on the comeback strong finish, like you said, after the wipeout session in 3 and 4. And best of luck to you next week at Indy.
Thank you. I want to thank you and Chris again. You guys are awesome. So,
Well, thank you for all the
You're doing a
kind
great job.
sentiments.
Thanks,
No
Brian.
problem.
Congratulations.
no problem. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get Jaden Sanchez. Our winner tonight,
Love
Jaden
talking to
Sanchez. Jaden, tell us about the night and ended up on the podium.
Yeah, no, the race was very interesting with me and Caleb. Yeah, no, I liked how we sorry, I'm stuttering. Yeah, no, we went back and forth a couple times. I mean, he was really quick. And yeah, no, it's really just trying to defend him all race. I was very surprised that Brandon didn't get up there because he was fast in practice and I was struggling. This is not one of my best tracks, not at all. So I was very surprised because the setup was what acted way different in the race than it did in practice. Because in practice, it took me like a while to get into the 31s, and I literally had to watch Brandon for 30 minutes straight on the lines to run. I was like struggling. I was like, yo, what are they doing different? And I don't like shifting because it just unsettles the car. So yeah, no, that was pretty interesting. I never thought I had I would look at Brandon for a whole 30 minutes, but I mean, hey, that's what it took. So yeah, no, it was pretty casual race. I mean, I had the strategy definitely won. I mean, everybody seemed like they needed to pit before me, and I still had a lot of tire left. And I think long run, when I pitted, I still had like a good 5, maybe 6 laps on everybody. So I think if I would have saved just a little more, I think I would have probably gotten Caleb on a longer run if it had gone green, that initial caution, but it didn't. And then, yeah, no, it's just pretty much, trying to not let anyone pass, but like, give them room and stuff. And that last lap I think was pretty weird. I think I definitely missed the corner just a tad, and then I arced it to get my normal line in. And then I think Caleb washed up just a little bit, not too much though. I mean, I definitely majority came down, but I think we were just trying to meet in the same spot, and he lost it under me and I got put in the wall. It wasn't like malicious or anything, just hard racing, but I don't know. A lot of people are probably gonna look at that as intentional wrecking, but it's not my call to make. But yeah, no, it was a pretty hectic last 15 laps though. So I mean, and I'm thinking the whole time, just like, please don't dump me. And then Brian got behind me, and then I started getting nervous because he was following me all around the track, and I'm thinking, rip, RIP my car. This is, it's going to be a good battle because I know he's very good at New Hampshire. So, yeah, no. And then I got that good restart, and I'm like, okay, I just have to settle in. And then, I think initially I had it. And then I looked in my mirror for a quick second to see where Caleb was, and I missed the corner by like a tad, and I still got to slow down perfectly. And then I tried getting that run off the corner, maximize the exit, and I think we just met in the middle, like I said. So, yeah, no, it was a good battle. I thought he was trying to race me to the line, and I got put in the wall, and he was just gonna race me like, side by side. I thought that was gonna happen, but I didn't see him like lose it fully because I think after that second initial contact, he lost it. So, yeah, I know it sucks. I've been picking up before, but I know me and Caleb have a history, so it's all good. Maybe we can work it out. I don't think he's mad, but we'll see. I mean, it's racing. I mean, I expect the same thing, I guess, next week, wherever next week is. But yeah.
Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, that's gonna be an interesting race. I think I've only ran there once, and that was trucks a couple years back. I so
Yes, the
really I have
oval.
yeah, so really I have no prior knowledge there, except in the IndyCar, of course. But yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. I mean, I had fun. I mean, I actually the whole race, honestly, I was just trying to save tire. I mean, really, I was focused more on Brandon than I was Caleb. But Caleb, after like a certain point, after Brandon had a pit before me, I realized that like, oh, okay, well, Brandon burned his stuff up before I did. So I mean, I was just like, all right, so I think Caleb's really just the race for it. And then I think Caleb got wrecked or he came down, and I'm not sure what happened, but I saw him and Brandon wreck, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. I just don't need any more cautions. And then I don't know, Matt went around, and I was like, come on, bro. Yeah, no, but it was held on. It was interesting. I mean, we'll see what everyone else's opinion on the race was, but probably negative stuff, probably positive. We'll see. I mean, it's racing, right?
I Yeah, I thought it was a real
Yeah,
intriguing,
no,
great New Hampshire race. Like I said at the end of that,
yeah,
it kind of turned into almost like Rock'em Sock'em Bock'em, but it was an outstanding New Hampshire race. You guys went like 67, 70 laps caution free, which I thought, by the way, some of the guys' cars were handling. You guys might have a couple of cautions early, but you guys didn't. Like I said, long green flag stretch there, and I thought it was going to be looking like a caution-free race, but things occurred, and it did not go that way. So, other than that, I thought it was a great race, Jaden.
yeah, no, same. Yeah, no, it was really great. I mean, I saw Brian up there, and I was like, Brian's really good at New Hampshire, and I expected him to get the win, and all that. It was interesting. But yeah, no, I think my goal for Indianapolis, I mean, honestly, to keep this win streak going. I mean, I think I won the last two. I was trying to make it three in a row before or after Watkins Glen, but obviously it couldn't happen. But maybe it could happen again at Indianapolis, but that's a really draft dependent track. So really, if you can push somebody, I mean, hey, you can pretty much do whatever you need. But yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, this schedule is very intriguing. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's very yeah, no, I looked at a lot of the tracks, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do well this season, but it's surprising me. I'm winning at tracks I shouldn't be winning at. So I mean, yeah, no, it'd be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out next week. But I mean, no one knows for sure. But yeah, no, I had
Final thoughts,
fun.
shout-outs.
Yeah, no, shout outs to you guys. Yeah, of course. Shout out to Brian for running the league, and all the admins, and Caleb. I mean, really, he was really phenomenal. I mean, we raced pretty aggressively today. He had honestly, he had every opportunity to wreck me. I think he got to the back bumper at me at once, and I almost lost it, but I managed to hold on. But yeah, no, a couple more of those bumps, and I probably would have gone around. And yeah, no, he was very, very fast. So yeah, no, it was a good race. Hope to have another battle with everybody like Brandon, Caleb, Matt. They're all fast. Yeah, until next time though, I mean, we'll see. But now I got to focus on the truck series race on Tuesday, Kansas, and then I'm back at it at my favorite track, Auto Club, which I think I have to serve at EOL, so that's gonna be fun. I guess racing from the back, because every time I've started on the pole at Auto Club, I've always won it. So it's gonna be very interesting to see if I could still win it without winning the pole. But yeah, no, it's good. 4 poles, 4 wins in this league, or for this setup side. Sorry, and I think I'm second overall right now in the league for wins. So, and winningest driver right now this year. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna try to keep this momentum up. It's really great because I was struggling a lot last year, but it's good to be on the winning side for once. So, yeah, no, we'll see what we can do next week though.
Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, Jaden. Best of luck to you moving forward, like you said, with the rest of the races in the schedule and next week, of course. And, congratulations tonight on the victory here. Dominating performance, almost led every lap, except for a few during the pit cycle and so forth. But, yes, congratulations again on the victory. And, like you said, some of these back to back wins and so forth. And, yeah, congratulations and go celebrate this win, Jaden.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, final thoughts from New Hampshire?
Well, final thoughts. Just a heck of a barn burner here tonight at New Hampshire. It was a great race. I still stand by that sentiment. It was a outstanding race. We had a long green flag run. Selner and Sanchez was kind of the class of the field. Don't say those initials together, but they were kind of the class of the field, and we just saw some dramas play out, and just happened to be one of those late race caution spectacles that you kind of see sometimes, Chris. But nevertheless, that's part of racing here at New Hampshire from time to time. You will see that play out whenever it's races like a short track here at the Magic Mile. So going next week to, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, like we've talked about, I can't wait to see how these Gen 7 cars are going to react in the draft there, and how these cars are going to have to either struggle or really flow through those corners, how narrow of a track it is. So can't wait for that, Chris.
Well said, Will. As always, it's nice to broadcast with you from here in Hampshire. So we're going to see you again next week in Indianapolis, of course. But that's going to do it for us here at 1-5 Studios. If you enjoyed the racing action, make sure you